Okay, we're back. Another lovely week. Thank you for joining us, Anthony.
No
we
problem.
appreciate it, man.
In flesh and blood.
And
That's right.
yeah,
The real
exactly.
real McCoy.
the real deal. Yeah. How was your quarantine lockdown?
It was pretty
everything like
good,
that?
actually.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Well, you were probably working.
I was working the whole time, so
Yeah.
I didn't really quarantine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It was just the social side of things, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right? So
I'm
yeah.
a big time extrovert though, so
Yeah.
that took some getting used to.
Mm.
Like I like to if I'm in a restaurant and there's like a bunch of people there, I'm super calm.
Mhm.
Like I like that. Like walking through like the Fringe or whatever, I just feel at home. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's everyone has the same kind of reaction when they hear that. Like, what, really? I'm like, I love it. It's like people.
Yeah,
Fair
hey.
enough.
Yeah, for the first little while, I was pretty scared.
Yeah.
Like, is this what it's gonna be like? Like, how long is this gonna be? Right?
Like forever? Yeah.
Yeah. And like the news is coming in, what's real, what's not real, and then it gets politicized. And
Oh boy.
It's actually like it's honestly to a point it's just mentally exhausting because
Yeah.
it's constant and you're like
I think I tuned out like 2.5 months ago.
Same, man.
yeah
100%.
truly yeah exactly everything you come out or for me anytime I read an article I'll be like whatever source it came from I'm like what is the antithesis to this source I'll see what they have to say about it and
Yeah.
see if I can piece together what actually happened
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
What pharmaceutical company is sponsoring
100%.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's Jeff
exactly.
Bezos saying?
yeah I mean
Instantly demonetized.
overlords
already.
we love you guys
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't.
give our video views
Yeah.
You see on YouTube, everybody's like bleeping out coronavirus because they don't want it. Like,
Yes,
There's actually
yes.
algorithms.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
really?
algorithms are going through the episodes, and like as soon as that word is mentioned, demonetized.
Really?
yeah
It's not like we're making money from this, so
Yeah.
No.
we can
Yeah.
say it all we want.
We can-
We can
Yeah,
bleep
we-
it later if you need
yeah
to.
yeah
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
It's like
Someday.
cancel culture, man. It's on steroids now.
It
Dude.
really is. It really is.
And
I probably can't even say steroids.
Yeah, that perpetuates.
You would think that like after a worldwide pandemic and like people coming together and stuff like this sort of thing would kind of be on the the back burner, but over the last couple of months there's been a ton of like prominent comedians, YouTubers, a lot of them getting taken down and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think what's happening is a lot of people are they're running out of money and resources and stuff. Like at the beginning, everyone I felt like this like big sense of like community and culture and like we're gonna rise together. And then those I think it's getting a little too long, right? There's a lot of people like fortunate I'm in construction, so we
Right.
never got shut down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like a lot of people are running out of cash and savings and stuff like that. It's agitated. People are running around,
Yeah, yeah.
scared and angry and taking it out, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's a good point. Yeah. Especially, and if they have nothing else to do, they're kind of like, there's this pent up kind of a mix of like just kind of cabin fever with like
Yeah.
anger as well at the world, the system, whatever. And then
Yeah.
it's just kind of a bit of a pressure cooker, really.
Yeah,
So,
they fucking hate their
yeah.
wife or husband. Or,
yeah, they've been stuck with them for 3 months or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
I think
Yeah.
divorce lawyers are gonna have a field day after.
Oh,
this.
they're printing money
Yeah,
right now.
they're
The
like-
stats in America is wild.
Oh,
Joe
yeah.
Rogan was talking about it on one of his
Really?
shows. Yeah.
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
I
through
did
the
hear it
roof.
was all way up. So,
Yeah.
So if you're looking to sell your home, Revere Real Estate provides the solution. Anyways,
10 out of 10. Thank you.
yeah, they. I don't know. I felt like people were on such a good like meta level. At least that was kind of the zeitgeist for a while there. Of like it was just such a profound thing to go through, and I think people had a lot of good mental, spiritual journeys, if you will, with themselves, just to sound super cheesy,
Yeah.
but I
No,
think it
it's
was
true.
true. And then it almost like, we were almost like, okay, anyways, back to the regular schedule program, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone forgot about it, right? It was like,
Yeah. Or the next thing happened. It's like
Yeah.
COVID, and then it's like fucking murder hornets. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And then it's like,
yeah,
everything else.
Yeah, stuff that happened on the States, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
almost like somebody like, check this box, check this box,
Yeah.
on to the next one
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
It's so
2020's
weird,
been a
man.
trip.
It's so weird.
yeah. I saw an article recently that it it was like the definitive worst year ever, and it was like 585 AD or something like that.
Really?
And they actually like they were saying how it had to do with basically it was a weird time between the wars and the plagues of Europe that like half the population died or something like that, and like I don't know. I should have known the stats a little better, but it was something where they broke it down and they're like, this was arguably definitively the worst year ever, and you're like, okay, I guess that's some pretty good perspective. You know, I had to stay home and play Call of Duty for a few months.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
That's how you got to look at it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of. I just try to imagine like people getting sent to World War II, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 18 years old, getting sent, like storming Normandy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, man, we're just getting asked to stay home and chill out and
don't
talk
go to
moistly.
bars. Don't talk too moistly. It's
I saw something like that, but it was like, imagine being born in the year 1900. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you went through 2 world wars.
Yep.
You went through the Great Depression. You went through
Spanish flu.
Spanish flu.
1918.
Yeah.
You went through 100 different things.
Yeah.
And we're just crying about one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. Perspective, I guess.
Perspective,
right?
yeah.
It's
everything.
important to look at it like that. So, and
Totally natural.
totally natural pause that we'll cut out. Seamless transition. So I mean, I kind of like to ask people, what did you have any big, epiphanies and stuff during the whole lockdown thing? I know perhaps if you kept a little bit of semblance of routine, maybe your answer might be different or something. I don't know. What do you think?
You know what? I'm glad you brought up routine because that saved me for sure from just going crazy. But it made me really think about my routine, like what my routine used to be and what it is now, and just being grateful for a lot of things. Like I don't know if you guys believe in law of attraction and manifestation and all that kind of stuff, but one of the biggest thing is being grateful. And since I was quick to realize my perspective on COVID and the quarantine and stuff, like we're getting asked to do nothing. Just stay home.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, could be so much worse. And then I just started being grateful, like saying out loud, like what I'm grateful for. And then that kind of brought like a real clarity to me. And also, just personally. And then business wise, it just showed me how to be way leaner and just be smart with, like being very scrappy. Like being a general contractor, typically we'd say no to smaller jobs. You know what I mean? But when this all happened, I said yes to everything. And it kept me, first of all, it kept me sane because I kept working and it kept the guys working. They have mortgages and stuff like that. So, and just, it actually brought out, I posted about it, but it brought out a lot of opportunity. I said yes to like it was like $300 job.
Oh yeah.
And it got me one of the largest renovations that we've ever nailed down.
Damn.
Wow.
Nice.
That guy, it was his rental property, and he didn't play off that he owned a couple businesses and stuff. I said yes to it, and I took it with enthusiasm, and then he hired me to do this massive reno. So I was like, wow, if I would have said no, like 3 weeks before that, I would have said no for sure.
Yep.
I'm like, I can't, I'm too busy. But then I said yeah, and then it worked out. So the epiphany would just be a yes man.
As
much as you can.
Absolutely. I even find that kind of that similar outlook in my own business, and not even recently, like over the past years where, I might, like, there was a great one last year where one gentleman listed his home with me, then his girlfriend listed because they decided they were going to buy another home and live together sort of thing. So it was tons of opportunity. I worked with this family for like almost the whole year, got to know him pretty well. And I'm like, wow, just imagine if I had like, the sometimes when the league comes in, you're kind of looking at it and you're like, I guess we'll see how this goes. But you just have to kind of open yourself to the opportunity.
And take it like it's like full. I'm mumbling here.
But like treat it like it's like the biggest thing ever.
Like anticipation and full, like put your all into it.
Exactly.
Every single lead, right?
Yeah. Sometimes like catching yourself being, for me, like almost a touch, like I would say entitled objectively, or you're like you get too big of an ego where you're like, oh, I only deal with $1 million clients or whatever, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, you gotta get brought back down, I guess, right?
Those $1 million clients own rental properties, right?
That's right.
right, yeah.
A
So-
lot of them, and that 6 degrees of separation.
Yes.
That comes into play all the time, all the time. Like, not just from us knowing someone, but if you hire me to build something, and then your dad wants something, or your sister or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can take off pretty quickly.
Or you never know
100%.
whose uncle is a CEO of this, that, and the other thing, or whatever, right?
100%.
So,
I think it pays to always be on.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
because
good. That's well said.
Yeah, because I mean, I've dealt with it too. Like a $75,000 condo, you're like, oh well, all right. But I mean, you do a good job for them, and the guy turns out to be an investor and have 10 other ones in the
Yeah.
city. Like
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So-
Or that person grows too. Like if
Yeah.
that's their first home, and
Yep.
then they get a promotion at work or
100%.
whatever 5
Yeah.
years later, and they remember you because you cared about it, and
Yep.
then you got their $1 million house or whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of lessons learned
Yeah.
lately.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think you should never really be too good for anything when it
Never.
comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
No.
And just always show up, always be on. And it's very easy to get caught up in the day to day and kind of forget about that, right? So I don't know. It's for me too. All my, extremely deep out of body experience meditations over quarantine. I'm trying to like bring myself back to them and not forget about them in a year or whatever, right? So,
Yeah.
but
So you're meditating?
trying to.
Okay. It's hard, hey?
It
the
really
beginning?
is.
Yeah.
And for me personally, because I truly started it a little over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more out of, rather than being like, oh, this is something I'm interested in. It was more like a reactionary thing, right?
Okay.
Where, so 2019 was like my best and busiest year by far, right?
Yeah.
And I got to a point where, as I was pushing myself, like it was just kind of consuming my mind, and to the point in the evenings I had a terrible time falling asleep because I would just lay there and be planning my next day and be like, okay, I gotta talk to this guy, email this person, start this marketing campaign, yada yada yada, and I just like couldn't shut myself down well in the evening and would get crappy sleeps, couldn't fall asleep. So
Leads to burnout pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I sort of tried to start meditating, but I also kind of came at it from the wrong point of view, where it was like, for me, I was always like, I thought it was about not thinking about anything, like at all, like just being like a truly blank space.
Yeah.
So my method was kind of this DIY one where I would like, it was almost like being a little kid trying to hold your breath, where you're like, okay, how long can I hold my breath for? And then you're like, okay, do it again. And that was like sort of my first experience with it. And it was kind of interesting to think, okay, how long can I not think about anything? And it's like a few seconds. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was how I started it, and now I'm trying to get better with it, but I've kind of made my own quasi DIY way of doing it, but I've tried to be more.
There's different methodologies.
Oh, absolutely.
100%,
But
yeah,
trying to take
yeah.
it more seriously, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I carve out as much time as I can
Oh,
every
really?
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And same thing, DIY stuff.
Mhm.
Sometimes in my truck or
Okay. Yep.
just as long as I'm not, like, my version of it is not thinking about work or doing an intended meditation to get better at something. So like visualization is more what I
Right,
do
right, right.
than meditating. But I'll picture, like, a lot of times I'll drive to like a really, really nice neighborhood. And then like I must look like a creep. I'm like rolling by these nice homes.
Yeah.
Picturing myself in there.
Yeah.
So it's just taking me away from the job sites and what I got to do this day and the next day and a week from now.
Right.
And then just picturing myself at the next level. That's kind of where it started. And I noticed myself being really calm. And then I went to breathing exercises, either in my truck or in the sauna when that was a thing at the gym.
Right.
Remember those days?
Yeah. The old world. You
yeah,
just
the
breathe
old-
on each other all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now I just, when I wake up, I'll go
Gotcha.
to the kitchen island and just kind of close my eyes and get ready.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you do like throughout the day, it's not really a morning or evening kind of thing for you.
Mostly in the evening,
Okay. Yeah.
but it depends on my mood
Gotcha.
my mood as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to do, or make time in the mornings to do it versus end of the day.
Yeah.
Personally, but
Morning's
anyway.
really good, like
Yeah.
especially really early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Joshua?
I just think about boobs all the time. Man.
yeah. That's the first
Yeah.
thing you think about when you meditate. You're like, don't think about anything. Sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, I don't know, I think the whole like sitting around and doing nothing is also kind of even a misnomer. Like you can do it at the gym. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like if the more you're involved in something, like that's almost my meditation now.
Yeah.
Where like,
Yeah.
I could definitely sit still and for me, it's not about thinking about nothing. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like a triple negative, but it's like, but it's kind of more like, why am I having that thought? And then pushing that aside and then just saying, let it go. It's almost like the thought comes in and then you just say, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that go. At least that's how I've done it when I was just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more like even finding that active flow state in work and in exercise and stuff like that, because I feel like it's almost bashing that activity into something too.
Yeah.
So
Like being in the zone.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's like the gym for me is like, it's like my church.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm not working. I'm not doing anything with my business. I'm working on my body. I'm trying to build muscle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're thinking about like you're just in like a state of calm or
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, even now, because we're all Good Life members, right? I do enjoy that. Like, granted, I would do, my average workout was probably like an hour and a half before, but it's like how much like farting around on my phone or like looking at
Picking a
butts
song.
or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
whatever
Yeah.
would I do that. I like the hour time slot. It forces you to be pretty efficient with your workouts.
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely got my workouts I've done so far in the 2-ish weeks it reopened have been really, really solid, honestly.
Yeah.
For all business. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say they've been some of the best workouts I've had in the last like year.
Yeah.
even.
A little
So,
bit of a sense of urgency, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
You get your 6 or 7 exercises in and get out and
I like the I don't know about like you guys, like I do the home dresser kind of thing.
same.
I go like 10-15 minutes early, try to be first in line because they usually open slightly early anyways.
Yeah.
And just go straight to it, right?
Right to the machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of maximize that. So I don't know. I like that.
You're like a person on Black Friday at
Yeah,
Walmart.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to Target in Phoenix on Black Friday once.
Oh, really?
Jesus.
Jeez,
I
how
was
that?
lined up out the front door, around the side, and Target's huge.
Yeah.
So I can't even tell you how many people were there. It was super calm though.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised because you just see the bad online, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is a
yeah.
carrying state, so I don't think people really fuck
Right,
around too
people-
much.
People know to be reasonably
Yeah.
behaved. You never. Yeah. It's almost like a bit of a impasse because you're like, well, I have one. Do you have one? Do you have one? I have one. Right.
Yeah.
I think they're safer states, man. Overall. I think
Yeah,
they
there's
For day to day, perhaps. Yeah.
yeah,
I
like
don't
there's
know.
no I've never felt uncomfortable like in Scottsdale or Mesa or anything like that.
Mhm.
I go like 2 or 3 times a year, and it seems I actually haven't seen any
Yeah.
any guns like on anyone's hip or anything like that
Mhm.
besides law enforcement, but
Yeah.
everyone seems to be pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Houston one time, and we went to the LBJ Space Center there, and as we're walking in, the one guy's, what did he say? He's like, the security guard at the front was like, personal weapons, gentlemen, and my dad had been to the States a lot. It was just me and him. He's like, nope, we're good. And he was like, all right, come on in. And I'm like, what did he just ask us? Like, I was kind of taken aback. He's like, oh, he wanted to know if we were, concealed carrying or whatever. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is Texas.
Oh, yeah, exactly,
Right?
yeah.
So, yeah. Because I think I'd only been to, like, California before that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
They're not about that life there.
not
No.
exactly.
Oh, they
Yeah.
hate them there.
So,
Fuck yeah, bro.
but it almost didn't cross my mind. It was almost kind of surreal. Like, again, I can't say I've seen any American just walking around with a gun, but
Yeah.
you almost don't think about it. Like it felt very real in that
Yeah.
moment to me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely portrayed differently.
Mm-hmm.
And like you don't actually like online and stuff, you don't see too much bad from good gun carrying people.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
there's not
100%.
like just because someone has a gun they use it. It's like criminals with guns they stole,
Yeah.
typically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
are robbing shit, right?
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, there's some kind of sense of calm every time I'm in Mesa or Scottsdale. Like it's, they're just like,
for sure.
like, why would I fuck with anyone?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's just like,
exactly.
whatever, it's fine.
Or if somebody does come and try to fuck with me, there is probably the guy just two seconds away from
Yeah.
me. That's
Yeah, you just say
carrying on.
help really
Yeah,
loud, and someone's
exactly.
probably like, all right, sweet, this is my moment.
Yeah,
That's
this is
why I
somebody on the
have this
news.
motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it'd be like
Yeah.
an 87-year-old man. It's like, I've never had to use this, but now's my moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the time. This is what I trained
And
for.
they're
So,
used to it too. Like I think if it came here, it wouldn't be it'd be a culture shock, and I think people wouldn't know how to be mature with it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they'd look for an excuse to be
Yeah.
RoboCop or some shit like that, right?
Mm,
But in
I'm
America,
Batman.
yeah, exactly. In America, it's like whatever. It's kind of
Yeah.
like alcohol in Italy, let's say.
Yeah.
Like younger
right,
people
right,
having
right.
wine with dinner. It's not a huge deal. They're
Yeah.
not blacking out on their 18th birthday
Yeah.
like all of us.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly,
mean?
right? It's, you
Yeah.
know, if you've kind of been raised with it, if you're like, let's say like 14 or whatever is kind of the acceptable age.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Well, even with Americans specifically, their relationships with guns, because we didn't fight a war of independence like they did.
No.
So culturally, for generations, they've been very about like kind of that self-governance and defending themselves, yada,
Yeah.
yada, yada, right? So
Did you see the thing about the boogaloos?
I think I saw a headline, but I have no idea what it is.
Boogaloos.
The
No.
boogaloos. It's almost like well, they're calling it in the media at least, so I don't know. Take this with a grain of salt. It's a militia down in the States who is essentially like openly carrying, like they're carrying like assault rifles essentially.
Like is it Chaz?
No,
No.
like these are like supposedly like right-wing dudes. That
Okay.
are
Like
Like they're
essentially-
kind of doomsday preppers,
yeah,
aren't they?
like
Okay.
the,
Yeah.
the boogaloo is essentially like the apocalypse, end of times type
Okay.
thing. So
No, I haven't heard this.
so they're getting a bit of traction in the current day and month.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know
Interesting,
how
yeah.
I'd feel about that. Like open ARs around, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My dad used to go to Oklahoma a lot for work, and he went to a gun show one time, and he said it was like everyone's there is like, you know, very professional. Everyone has their permits and stuff, but there'd be guys like carrying like they'd have like, because you can like sell stuff there, and if you have the reseller permit, so there'd be dudes walking in with like, you know,
Like, just
two
strapped.
just
Yeah.
like literally like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a movie kind of thing, like two M4s in each hand, and like you know a
Yeah.
bunch strapped around their shoulders and ammo, but they'd have like a big license thing like attached to it.
Yeah.
But he just said it
Like-
was kind of weird to see.
Like
Yeah.
Neo in the Matrix.
I was gonna think. I
Yes,
was thinking
yes,
about that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
When
exactly.
the metal detector goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Fuck
that's-
shit up.
That's an iconic scene.
Oh
a
man,
good
I love
movie.
that movie.
Yeah,
1999 that came out.
That's
a
pretty
long
wild.
ass
That's
time ago.
spectacular. Yeah.
to think about, or even it's surprising some of those old movies, and you watch it and like it sort of holds up the CGI and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look
Like you allow
blatantly
it.
cheesy. Yeah.
You're like, okay, that's fine.
Even Jurassic Park
Yeah.
was kind of one
Yeah.
that
Definitely.
Yeah, they did a good
Absolutely.
job. It's funny watching like things that are remastered, like Star Wars.
Oh,
Yeah.
the remaster. I hate Return of the Jedi, the remastered one, because they have a bunch of weird cheesy scenes in Jabba's palace that are
Yeah.
like, it's too spliced in of like the original movie with color correction, then all of a sudden like a pure CGI scene, then back to the original
Oh,
movie. I'm
yeah,
like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, exactly. And our nice like HD or HD TVs
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like, you're busted. But it was in the 70s, so
You're
Yeah,
busted.
exactly.
yeah.
You're busted.
This isn't real. This isn't a
Hey, wait a
documentary.
minute. For the first time, I've noticed this isn't real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
80s and 90s, man. Those movies, most of them still hold up today.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but they would all be ruined with technology, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Home Alone's the classic example. Die Hard.
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Die Hard,
Don't
definitely.
you dare say anything.
I
about
love
Hard.
Die Hard, but if he had a cell phone, it would have been like 20 minutes.
yeah.
So, actually, so
that's good.
supposedly, I remember I was watching it with my family one time, and it was like a movie mistake or whatever, because he walks by a phone bank in an airport, and you can see the brand name of the phone bank, and
Okay.
it's a Canadian brand, so it shows you it wasn't actually filmed in California
Oh,
or whatever.
really? Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah.
The other thing there's a million things, but the glass in the curtain walls in a high rise, you can't just like kick through that or like fall through.
Absolutely.
Well, because isn't glass in high rises like sort of structural? Like it's part of a wall in some of them or something?
It's not. No, it's not structural, but it's like you can't. For example, we built a building downtown. Like,
this is a great guy to ask about.
I was gonna say, ask this guy.
There was a homeless person that broke in a federal building downtown during construction, and we just put in our curtain wall glass, so it was like floor to ceiling glass. It has like wind resistance and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And the K9 unit was chasing him, so he thought he would just take a cinder block and throw it through the window and then just keep running. And he picked it up. You could see this all on security. We were all watching like game footage. It was so funny.
Yeah.
He grabbed the cinder block and he threw it, and it made this like this big, like the size of a golf ball, like a little dent, and it came back and actually hit him. And then the dog came and bit his ass, and the K9 unit let him go a little bit, which was cool.
I thought you said you were gonna say that he tried to jump out the window.
Oh no!
And just because I know how that would go too. Right?
Yeah,
It's
you just hit it.
Yeah.
Like it has a resistance of like a truck would have a tough time going through that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
John McCain's bloody feet probably wouldn't kick out the glass or whatever, however he does it.
But we let it happen.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, man.
Oh yeah. Did you know he was like? Have you ever watched the movies that made us on Netflix? It's like a documentary about it.
Because he was scrolling past it though.
He was. It's actually not. It's actually fairly well done, but because he wasn't. That was his like coming out movie. Like he wasn't famous before that, and he wasn't really an action star at all. Like he was on like daytime TV before that.
Oh, is that right?
And apparently, because he was right at that era where, because like action stars went from being John Wayne to being like Arnold and like Stallone and like really juiced guys, and then he was like kind of pretty scrawny compared to those guys. Like he was fit for sure, but then it transitioned to more the athletic body from the bodybuilder type. But he was the first to do it, and everyone like supposedly laughed at the first screening because they're like, "This isn't like a tough guy. Tough guys are Arnold, right?"
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that movie, man. Every time it's on, I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
I love it. And then I've always liked it, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine kind of popularized it as a Christmas movie. So around Christmas time, I usually throw it on.
It is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says.
I agree.
I'll fight them.
Have you seen the argument that it's really a love story between John McClane and Al Powell when they finally meet at the end?
The cop?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of a joke. But if you there's like some analyses out there that kind of break it down and stuff. So, but
That's funny.
anyways,
people have a lot of time for sure.
They do.
Oh yeah, people
Absolutely.
never underestimate nerds on the internet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's very true.
Perfect example is if you don't know how to do something in construction, like something weird, like changing a filter in a tool that you've only used twice, like a specialty tool.
Yeah.
You can YouTube it, and like someone has like the most detailed, incredible way of cleaning it, and he's like, I tried 75 ways to clean it, but this is my favorite. And you're like, sweet,
Cool, man.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to not know stuff now.
Yeah.
Like you have the best resource ever for that.
That's a good point.
Speaking of nerds on the internet, you can like there's examples where they would like hunt down like terrorists and shit based on pictures they would post online, and they would like triangulate seriously.
Oh, really?
Positions just based on like the picture. They'll be like, oh, this flag was in the picture. This flag is in this country. I know that or I know the mountain range or whatever.
Jeez, man.
It's hilarious.
Like, don't fuck with cats.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
guys watch that?
That's
Literally exactly
100%.
that. Yeah.
Oh man, that movie was super well done.
That was I actually quite enjoy it. Like, enjoyed it relatively. Like, it was a well done documentary for sure.
I had to watch the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what I was getting into. My
Me
girlfriend
neither.
picked it. I'm like, I honestly thought it was gonna be about like cats and like
Yeah.
Funny.
don't know.
I thought it was gonna be like cat meme videos.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and this guy's got a vacuum. These cat. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big story a few years ago too. I didn't know that was that guy until but yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember actually hearing about it at the time as well, but
I remember
didn't
the
pay
arrest
much
in
attention.
Montreal.
Yeah.
Or the murder in Montreal, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they showed the footage of the last time they saw that the guy walked through the
Yeah.
vestibule. I remember that.
yeah.
Like, I remember seeing it. I don't know what year and stuff.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Crazy.
Nerds in the
Crazy.
internet.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing was, and it was right when quarantine started. Everyone was bored, so that was right when the Houston Astros cheating thing was coming out.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of
he's like running like this. Don't tackle me. Don't tackle me.
yeah.
Or don't like expose my wires and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, but what they did, so they would take game footage, and then because you can isolate like the high, low, medium sounds of any audio recording. So they actually like just took hours of footage and found all their like different signals.
Yeah.
Of like, because it would be whistles was a lot of it, and it would be like a whistle, but like change the pitch or something like that. Like
Okay.
as they would whistle, and then they're like, okay, if they do like do, and then kind of an up whistle, I can't whistle, so but they'll be like, oh, this is their signal for a breaking ball, this is their signal for a fastball, and they can isolate the audio, and like the writings on the wall, they were totally cheating big time, because you can clearly hear the dugout like whistle, and then the exact pitch they called out happened, sort of thing. So
Jeez, man.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And it was just like people sitting at home, angry baseball fans. I
Yeah,
guess, I don't know.
exactly,
So,
Yeah. There was a lot of time to go into like conspiracy theories too and all that. There was a ton of that shit.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
And
I had-
Tiger King and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had lots of fun over a break. So much stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had I think we had a little more sitting around time than you did, perhaps.
Yeah,
But,
I just kept working.
yeah.
I just kept looking, waiting for my number to be called though. Like construction's canceled. Like fuck.
Yeah.
But it was all
Ah,
good.
shit.
Technically, we were never canceled.
Yeah, we
The
were.
realtors?
Yeah, we were
Yeah, I
an
guess.
essential service,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah,
because
but
if
People
moves
were
are,
afraid.
yeah, exactly, right. But then if people had deals and moves in place, those need to happen. So that was kind of the logic for why it gets to keep going,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but definitely slowed right down there for a little bit.
I had
That's
to
for
fill
sure.
out a bunch of forms saying that I wasn't sick to go in a bunch of houses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think we're supposed to still use those, but people sort of fell
Nobody.
off. I don't
yeah,
know. There's
nobody has been.
well, for one, like Canada's vicarious liability laws don't really work that way. Not that I'm a lawyer, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always like, how did I know that I got it from you because you came into my house,
Yeah.
or vice versa?
Yeah. You
right?
can't.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. You can. It's probable.
Yeah.
But it's not for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
true.
And I think a lot of people are pretty chill about it now.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
I was at Joey, or what restaurant was I at? Can't even remember.
Yeah.
But it was like, she had a mask on, the server. That was really it. Everyone was kind of like
Yeah.
the same demeanor, like it felt normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Have you been going out much, or are you kind of taking it easy, or what's
I got
the-
a 2-year-old, so
Right,
you know,
right.
I'm trying to think about that, but I read a lot of stats on it, and
Mhm.
like the immune. I take my vitamins, or not immune. I listen to like Rhonda Patterson talking about the importance of vitamin D and
Sure.
Yeah.
and all the stats on COVID and stuff like that. So the more I learned about it, the more chill I became.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I wasn't like freaking out about it or anything like that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, there's not really too much to do, really. Like right now, anyways, 'cause it's
Yeah.
fucking raining every day.
That's a very good point,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monsooning.
Like crazy.
Oh, I know.
I know.
Like the last few days, it's been like for like half an hour, 45 minutes.
Did you have the lightning strike just yesterday?
Yeah.
It was like,
There's one a half an hour ago downtown. Got
There was
those-
a pretty wild one at like maybe 4 or 5-ish, I want to say, near
Yeah.
my house. Yeah.
Oh, there was one yesterday. It was like lightning, bang. Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
no, wait. That
No,
might be
it's
the
AC.
AC.
That's
Never mind.
AC. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Man, I've never, but it lit up our whole room and it was red, man. I've never seen that before.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
must have
yeah.
been close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy world right now.
Yeah.
As God being like, you fucking assholes.
I love that meme about with the aliens. He's like,
Ah.
oh, it's like 2020. It's like, oh, we're next. I'm so
Yeah.
nervous.
Or up
Yeah.
next.
Yeah. Well, even that admiral, I think he was an admiral or a commander, that saw the UFOs flying,
Okay.
Mhm.
and they released the private footage of.
Oh,
you know,
right,
and
right,
no one
right,
gave
right.
a fuck.
Well,
I remember that.
So,
yeah.
so
Favor, I think was his name.
now we can let our hair down because the camera's off. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, don't have to sit up straight anymore.
Put
Yeah.
your pants back on.
Yeah, jeez.
I refuse. No mask, no pants.
Yeah. what were we saying? Oh, that alien footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty, unidentified flying object.
Yeah,
It's pretty wild. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and
Who knows?
just the guy's testimonies. Well, not even. I don't even know if he had like a testimony, but he's been on Joe Rogan. He's been on a couple of podcasts talking about it. And you can't mix him up. The pilot that saw him talking about. You can't mix him up. He tells the same story every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can see a video of it. This thing is like going left to right, and
The way it zips. Yeah.
it just zips out of there. There's no propulsion system, and then everyone's just like, well, whatever, it's an alien, fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about COVID,
That's
though.
our-
It's scary.
Like
that's
exactly
scary?
it. That's the slowest. That's old news, boring news, I guess. I don't know.
100%, man. Yeah.
Well, because they said a pretty likely theory is that it may have been like a type of drone, like from a different country, like a more spy drone or something like
Yeah.
that was able to move that way. But
still, there's no heat
but
that
the
was
way
coming off.
actually,
it, right?
yeah.
So that there's no propulsion system that we're aware of. So
yeah.
So if someone has that technology, we're probably fucked. If they want to take
They
over.
got it under
that anti-gravity thing.
lock
going on.
and key.
When
Yeah.
was the storm, the Area 51 thing? Was that the end of last year? Or?
What? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It was.
It's like 100 people showed up
Yeah,
or
people-
something like
It
that.
was about
It wasn't
it
as
was
many
about a
as I
year
thought.
ago, I want to say,
Oh, really?
give or take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we kept making jokes about it in our early podcast, if I remember. So
Bob Lazar was telling people like,
Yeah.
don't, like, they're like, they can't kill us all. Like, yo, yes, they can.
yeah.
And they're allowed to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
They're allowed
They're
to.
allowed to. Yeah.
Fucking people, man.
I don't know. I love the internet. It's for
Yeah.
all the bad it does. It's a pretty.
There's a lot
great
of good, a
place.
lot of
Oh,
bad,
yeah.
and a lot of entertainment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's freedom, man. It's power to the people.
Yeah, for sure.
Share information.
Yeah. You
Share
know,
your wacky ideas.
it's
Yeah.
true.
And you
Yeah.
should be able to do that. I feel. Like.
100%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of got to be an absolute
Yeah.
freedom. As crazy as you
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
you should be able to say it. No one
Yeah.
has to listen to you, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and the cancel culture, I got a huge fucking problem with that.
Mhm,
Like, if you don't like something, don't listen to it.
Absolutely.
Don't, you
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? Unless it's people of influence to a certain degree, like
Mhm.
if someone says like to go do something that's gonna like hurt you,
Yeah.
like that's not cool, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But like people getting in arguments on, like, I got a buddy that posted something just recently, and someone was like, oh, I hope you know there's a, you're coming across this way. He's like, no, that's not how I meant it. She's like,
Yeah.
you should take it down. He's
Oh,
like,
no.
what? Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you even engaging then? Just scroll. Just
Yeah.
keep scrolling.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I like the old axiom of if you get in an argument on the internet with an idiot, you're the idiot.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
So
there's no
Mhm.
level of logic that they
Yeah.
can hear and listen to
Mhm.
that's gonna work. There's no reason. They're just gonna go to the next thing
Yeah.
and be like, "Well, you're attacking me now."
Yeah.
Like, okay. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck off then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's because I know enough about persuasion to try and change someone's hard opinion, especially about something personal or political. It's
Yeah.
next to impossible, especially with like facts. There's literally
Yeah.
no way to do it,
And
so
behind
it's
a
a waste
screen.
of time. And
If you do it
yeah.
face to face, I know there was someone that really disagrees with how I take on addiction,
Right.
and they were blasting me in the comment
Sure.
section, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't like swearing and shit like that, but they were definitely disagreeing and saying that I was. I think they called me a bad person or something. And I ran into this person at the gym.
Yeah.
And totally different.
Huh.
Totally different. You know what I
Really?
mean? It's not like. And I brought it up. I'm like, hey, like, I'm just so you know, as I said on my comment back to you, I did it the way that it would work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have an asterisk on there, like,
Yeah. This
this
isn't
is
for
the way I
everyone.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Oh yeah, no, it's totally fair. It's totally fine. you
But
know
I
what mean?
always wonder about those people. It's like, you've been through it. Have they been through it?
Yeah, I always ask that. I'm
Right.
like,
Mhm.
have you been addicted to anything?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, oh, well, I'm addicted to like sugar, let's say.
Sure.
Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's not cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that's not heroin or
Yeah.
alcohol or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Addiction is addiction, right?
Yeah.
But it's definitely a
There's-
spectrum.
Yeah.
There's
for
kind of
sure.
layers and levels, right?
Yeah,
So,
if you're addicted to sugar, it's not
Yeah.
going to kill you the same way if you're addicted to fucking meth.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. Very true. Very true.
And that's the issue that I have with a lot of this is that these people haven't actually been through it
Yeah.
or are commentating based on, like what they've been told.
Yeah. Armchair quarterbacking,
Exactly.
right? So
100%.
It's like
yeah.
talking to a soldier.
yeah.
Like, I have no idea. If someone had to kill someone in Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever,
Yeah.
I have no idea what that person's going through. I've seen a million movies on it. You know
Sure.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But and
True.
like
Good point. Good
1% of those are accurate, if that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have no idea. And if that person doesn't like to be like, I know a buddy of mine was a soldier. He's been to 3 tours, and he needs to always see the door. Always, even today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, always see the door. And like, it's just, I'm not going to go to him and be like, man, really? Do you have to still see the
Yeah.
door? Like, I have no idea. He could
Yeah.
be seeing, I don't know what he's seeing.
Sits
Yeah.
back to the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's the same. It's the same principle anyway as addiction. If you haven't been through it, haven't been through alcoholism or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
then you don't know. And even if your dad or your mom or your best friend or your brother or whatever has been through it, you don't know what it's like to be in it from their point of
Yeah.
view.
Yeah.
There's a million things like that. Just because you see it from the outside, you don't know what's going on in the inside.
We live in
True,
a generation of people that actually haven't been through a lot, I think.
We have been through fuck all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But
You know?
we need to make it sound like we have.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most unfortunate part is that when you come up against that type of person, it's like, I mean, frankly, should we be giving everybody a platform for their opinions? There's arguments on both sides.
Yeah,
of that.
arguments on both sides
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you get a lot of dumb opinions when it comes with that
Yeah.
too, right? So I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting to think about, and I feel like I say it every day, and I say it facetiously. It's like we need another world war or something to like actually
some Bill Burr shit.
yeah, like
just wipe them out.
well, not that, but to actually say that you've been through something.
Oh,
to,
I see. Yeah,
because most people, like, the toughest thing that's ever happened to them was their dad cut off their credit card or something. You know, like it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I got blasted once for, I said, your parents, some of y'all parents did everything for you, and it really shows. And it's super true.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say you don't compare your hard day to someone else's hard day or your hard life.
Yeah.
But I think that's bullshit. I think you should compare. You should compare all the time for clarity and know that, okay, like maybe my life isn't so hard.
Yeah.
Like the person's hardest day, like my hardest day ever, I think back to living under a tarp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think back to that. But there's people, but I'm in a free world.
Yeah.
In a free country.
Yeah.
There's people that don't even have a fucking tarp. Like, you look at Yemen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't compare because we only know what we know here. But
Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Maybe.
and especially in like a positive way like that, at least giving yourself perspective. Because I think a lot of the comparing is like, there's almost like it's a contest of who is the most
fucked up.
be struck in by who knows what or most hard done by, right?
Yeah, and most miserable.
Yeah, and like, don't, maybe it's not a contest of who has the most back pain or depression or sadness or anxiety or whatever, right? But maybe in a more positive light, like and there's always someone with it shittier, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And a lot of these people like congregate together and they want to out miserable themselves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, your day was
It's a
bad.
pretty fucking sad existence.
Oh,
when
it's
you get
so
down
bad.
To it.
Get the fuck away from those people. That my old job, the company was really good, but there was a couple clusters of people within it that would just love to talk about how shitty their life is and like, oh, their wife does this and she sucks at this and my back hurts and my knee hurts, and it's like, well, fucking take care of yourself then, or do something about it. Confront it. Don't just complain. And they all just get together and they just have like complaining fest.
Yeah.
I had to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's kind of a misery loves company,
Absolutely.
right? So and
it's a saying for a reason, for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things where a lot of the the like internet quick inspirational quotes of like, you're the average of your 5 closest friends or whatever, like to a point it's almost like a cliche, but those internet axioms are actually profoundly true, but they've been beaten to death so much that it's like people roll their eyes, and then but it's very easy to get I don't know. People like the human biology is designed to be kind of lazy and find the easiest path.
Yep.
So if you allow yourself to do that, you'll slither right into it, right? So,
Yeah. And those things are they're very diluted because there's a lot of people that just want to say something positive to get some likes or something, right?
Yeah.
And they do, they don't look how they do on Instagram or Facebook. You know what I mean? And it's too bad because a lot of those sayings they're sayings for a reason and they're true.
Yeah.
So.
So for you, I guess, and just kind of going back to the addiction thing, like, going forward, because you can't really do public speaking or anything anytime soon. I guess.
No, yeah.
What's kind of next for you on that front?
Well, so it is actually a public speaking engagement, but it's not till September.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully it happens.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I don't know how it's gonna be spaced or
Been
whatever.
moving
but,
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
yeah. But I've been trying to pump out as much content as I can
Yeah.
on Instagram anyways, talking about it, and not just about addiction, but just about getting successful and getting there and just trying to give back as much as I can. But
Yeah.
a lot of people reaching out to me during quarantine
Yeah.
because there's alcoholism is I think is on the rise and people doing drugs and stuff like that.
I do believe that's an actual stat with quarantine, and there was a
Yeah.
lot of reports of that too, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you don't like your situation, you can't just leave, so you just get shit-faced. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, suicides too.
suicide's up big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
There's a county in the States that were 5 a day.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
5
God.
a day.
Jesus.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
I think that the issue is nobody's going to be talking about the collateral damage that comes from it
Yeah.
too.
Fucking wave after this is
Yeah.
it's bad. It's like what, I don't know why, in my opinion, me being owning a construction company, being a carpenter, I don't know why we didn't quarantine the people who are at risk after we realized it wasn't what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like a massive death rate and you know what I mean, and like people just dropping like
90
flies.
million dead or whatever
Yeah,
they're calling
yeah.
for.
So once we realize like, hey, like this thing, if you have sufficient vitamin D in your system and you're healthy and you don't have underlying conditions, you're safe. Why can't we just open up and quarantine the people who are at risk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no one's talking about taking vitamins and their immune system,
Sleeping.
raising that. Vitamin D is crazy important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't burn out and sleeping and
I think that even goes back to our earlier in the conversation where we were talking a little more about kind of the media side of it, where it's so back and forth and such extreme ebbs and flows of the media that it's like no one wants to admit they were kind of wrong. I think.
Yeah,
right?
it's bad. Like, why can't I don't understand why people can't do that. And the virtue signaling is just like, fuck off.
It's because of the sunk cost fallacy, right? Like, we're already here, so we might as well. So
that's a very good point.
Yeah.
But again, like, how can you trust experts now? Because everything that they've been saying has been
It's
wrong.
expert opinion.
Yeah, the World Health Organization.
Yeah, WHO is.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, the people we're counting on were
You'd think
incorrect.
I believe they're an arm of the UN, are they not technically? You'd think they would be pretty Puritan in their views and announcements and information, and it's so far from
The video's off, so I can do what I
know.
would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. It's very frustrating. It's kind of a strange time.
Yeah,
I think
it is,
Yeah.
and it's kind of, like after like 9/11, for example, you could have this sense. Even though we're in Canada, there was like this sense of not like duty, but we're all like a community, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Especially in the States.
Sort of.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Big time.
Like patriotism and would camaraderie or like kind of a
camaraderie.
common
Yeah.
identity
Yep.
really emerge.
People
right?
joining the army and shit, like
Yeah.
left, right, and center, and
Yeah.
Marines and Navy SEALs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then now that the internet is the way it is now, and it's so easy to form an opinion, have it retweeted, and you have X amount of followers, so that credits you. That, like, side note, just because you have 100,000 or 1,000,000 followers doesn't mean you're an expert. So many people are sharing, oh, well, Michael Jai White said this.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not learning about martial arts here.
Yeah.
This is about COVID.
Hey,
that's right out of my ass, by the way.
That guy's fucking jacked.
I love that guy. I don't even know why I use him as an example.
Black Dynamite, bro. That's who that is.
I don't know who that is.
He's what's his martial art again?
I'm not sure. I think it is it's either kickboxing or I don't know what it is.
And what's his name?
It's Michael Jai White.
He was in Never Back Down 2.
Yeah.
He's like he's like the sensei guy.
Yeah. He's a black belt, and it's not kung fu or like Krav Maga. It's something like Krav Maga. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Basically, he could kill all of us.
Yeah.
With one punch.
The guy is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
100%.
These celebrities, right? They have like Ashton Kutcher. Like shut the fuck up.
Oh
yeah. I hate that guy, man. I don't hate him. I don't know him. I don't like him.
Yes. Did you see that video of all those celebrities that were like, I will never be silent when it comes to racism again or whatever? There's that black and white video.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And they were like,
who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And that's what
I know fucking Jesse Pinkman.
Except for Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, I know
he was
Jesse
the one
Pinkman
most well-known actor on there.
Yeah.
And that's what Joe Rogan called it out, and he's like, these are just people who are out of work and bored.
Yeah.
Right?
Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
Andrew Schultz. Yeah.
Or Andrew Schultz. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Turning from Sideways. I love that guy.
I love that guy.
Yeah,
He's so funny.
Yeah.
He's actually my hero. He's a very smart marketer,
He's
actually.
hilarious.
Yeah, big time.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But
no, 100%. I just don't get it. But I mean, if you have a platform, I guess you can use it, right?
Yeah.
So for better or for worse.
Yeah.
it's a weird thing where it's almost the generation before us that is big in celebrity endorsements and stuff.
Yeah.
I've read about it in marketing books. I wish I could know the name brand or something, but there was some sort of medical, maybe it was like a toothpaste even, that the spokesperson was an actor who played a doctor on TV, and he was the spokesperson for this toothpaste or something for a decade. And it was a good example of why celebrity endorsement works, because he increased their sales, but it logically makes no sense.
Because he's an actor.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's something along those lines.
Yeah.
The premise is
I feel you.
Yeah. But, actors, you just say words someone else writes for you in a convincing way, which is, a talent in itself. But it's why do we look to them on things that require expert opinions, sophisticated knowledge, right?
You know who else are actors? News anchors.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about what does it take to...
Teleprompter.
Yeah, a teleprompter and...
That's a script.
Yeah, it's a script with pauses, and what does it take, if
it
you've
requires
ever...
less talent than being an actor, technically.
And to become a successful news anchor, it is the most conniving, backstabbing business of all time. They're incredibly fake people, especially even your local news anchors. I don't know if you know any, but I've heard.
I can't say much. My sister-in-law is.
Oh, okay.
She's great. She's great. It's all good, but
there's to rise to the top, I should say, is I've heard inside stories, and it's a tough business. It's a very cutthroat business, and that's.
You don't have much time. Just like acting too, you don't have much time. You have to look a certain way. You gotta look young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
you gotta
true.
be convincing.
You got a window. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are the same age as you trying to get there. It's very competitive, right?
Yeah.
So if you can take someone out for a steak dinner and talk shit about somebody else and it works, and they'll do it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You know what I mean?
But one could argue.
That's what
I guess that's any corporate structure, right?
Yeah.
So, but I guess when they're more public facing, it's I don't know.
Yeah,
I have my qualms with the news, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's who's paying for the news, who signs their checks. There's an agenda, right? For sure.
Which pharmaceutical company is promoting this, right?
Yeah. So exactly that. You know what? We put these back to the celebrities. Though we put these guys and girls on pedestals, and they wait for buzzwords and that gotcha moment. And, you know what I mean? It's there's he was I can't remember his name, but he was in the NSA, or he's in the National Rifle.
NRA.
NRA, NSA, NRA, and he was
Edward
on
Snowden.
yeah. He was on Bill Meyer.
Okay.
And he was talking about how teachers should carry in the States.
Sure.
To help prevent mass shootings. Mm-hmm. And he's like, how come teachers aren't carrying? And then he's like, "'Cause they're teachers," and then the crowd just blows up.
Right, you're
you know what I
looking
mean?
for the like
Yeah,
moment,
so they can
like, so
they can cut it up and get
make a clip.
clickbait.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so annoying. And, like, these celebrities, they don't know
Yeah,
what the
they're kind of.
fuck they're
That's a
talking
good
about a lot
point.
of
They're
times.
looking for that.
You know where I get my info? Podcasts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times.
That's a.
This
It's-
medium is conducive.
It really
to that,
is.
yeah.
right?
There's
Yeah.
no
And-
audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? There's no audience.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no.
But it's the long for conversation, you know, people, you're not getting chopped up and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're getting sound bited or whatever.
And
Exactly.
and you know, you can't for like let's say you're a person with an agenda, you can keep your act together in like a 2 minute, talking head soundbite. But if you sit and talk for hour, 2 hours, whatever, like it's gonna fall apart at the seams,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah. That's
it-
a good point.
yeah,
Super good point.
and that's going back to even Bob Lazar, like he's never faltered on his story once. So at least what he's saying he believes to be true. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the
Yeah.
antithesis to that versus I know that Adam Ruins Everything guy, like he was on Joe Rogan, and I didn't watch
that
the
guy.
episode, but it was supposedly one of his worst episodes ever. And
Oh,
Joe's
really?
even said afterwards, like,
How did I
yeah,
miss? I would listen to Joe Rogan like every day.
yeah, this was quite a while
Yeah,
ago,
it was
Okay.
a
but
while ago.
they like.
Is
he's-
Adam Carolla?
Is that his
Maybe.
full name?
I don't know.
His TV show is called Adam Ruins Everything. I don't
Yeah.
know who he
Is
is.
he like? Is he from LA? He's got really curly
Yeah,
hair. Is
yeah,
he in
yeah.
Catch a Contractor?
Fat dude.
Maybe
Oh,
fat.
fat
He's
dude, no.
like
Glasses.
a little. Yeah, he has blondish hair.
Okay,
and he'll,
no, different guy.
He'll kind of do
Annoying
like
voice.
his videos and show is kind of about like it's definitely left leaning for whatever, but and then kind of like critiques of society in a very like left leaning kind of way or whatever, which
Okay,
is
yeah.
but then the point was when they were on that interview, like he wouldn't actually have a conversation. He would kind of say his like soundbite buzzwords and like wouldn't deviate from kind of the script. And it's like,
Oh, really?
no, man, I'm like trying to talk to you, the person. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of an interesting
Yeah, I
one.
could see Joe Rogan getting frustrated with that for sure.
Yeah.
That would be a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
Super tough time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That guy, fuck that guy.
Yeah, but it's nice when they have when bigger podcasts have an expert on, and the sponsors of the podcast are like for Joe Rogan. I keep going back to him because this is one I listen to all the time. But he's talking like smokers and
Yeah.
like vitamins and supplements and like on it and whatever. It's not like Bayer or like
Yeah.
like
Is that
Procter and Gamble
Yeah,
or
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like
yeah.
shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Like
not
fucking
like
Trump, you know?
Monsanto.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Side effects may include,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
death, loss of all limbs, loss
Yeah,
of
yeah.
penis.
Yeah.
So, right? And-
Yeah, you can't catch it if you're dead.
Yeah.
Technically, it worked.
True.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. No, that's actually a good point, too. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely prescribe to the idea that Joe Rogan is totally Oprah for men because I listen to it all the time,
yeah,
talk about it all the time.
Big time, man.
Shit he recommends I use and stuff,
Yeah,
right? So,
Yeah. Well, he talks about it in a way that like he's convincing because he actually tries it. And he's
Yeah.
not gonna.
yeah.
He's not. He doesn't. He's fucking loaded. He doesn't need to.
yeah,
Sell,
he's not going to
he's not
hawk
Dr.
crap,
Oz or
right?
anything.
So,
Yeah.
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 Dr. Oz is a weird one.
That's a
Yeah.
super weird
He's
one.
another. He was put in front of the Senate or the.
Some sort of committee.
Yeah. About. And he's just like, yeah, it's a placebo.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
did for a bunch of his drugs, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, no.
Mm.
And he's still on the air.
Yeah.
Like he's still
calls
he's-
himself a doctor. So.
Yeah, like,
I
what the
actually,
fuck?
granted, I believe of all the doctors on TV, I think he does still carry a license,
Oh yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, even though he doesn't practice or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like,
it's not like
Yeah.
Dr. Phil.
yeah. Well,
Dr.
Dr.
Phil's
Phil
the
was
worst
literally
at it.
never a doctor.
Yeah,
Even
he-
though
Yeah.
I don't mind Dr. Phil. He's kind of a funny guy now
Yeah.
on the internet and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's just funny that he called himself a doctor. Impersonating a doctor is like a federal criminal offense, but everyone just went along with
Yeah.
it.
Oh, hey,
right?
Oprah said it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. I don't know. It's
He has a good episode with even Joe Rogan again. Though,
Yeah.
but he's talking about depression and
Dr.
stuff
Oz?
Like, yeah, no, Dr.
Dr.
Phil.
Phil.
oh, the Dr. Phil one was really good.
yeah,
actually.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
He-
I've like sorry.
His show, like I watched it, a couple of his episodes just to, I made myself. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I try to do, if I don't like somebody for no reason,
Yeah.
that I'm human, it happens, right?
Sure.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna give them a shot, like a real objective. Think of it objectively, and then I'll like watch a show, right, or her show, or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, this guy's just doing it for the claps, for the audience.
Yeah.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, get
Well,
the fuck out of here.
yeah.
I'm sure he helps a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of it is like he needs the round
Yeah.
of applause.
Round of applause. You need commercial breaks, right? You need to cut it to a 22-minute slot, right? Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah. I found, but on that note, but then, because I enjoy them on the long form, on the internet side of things, like podcast things, where it's like kind of a more of a real person, not like, well, here's your husband who said, right? Or
Yeah,
some
exactly.
shit like
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah. Guess who's here?
Yeah.
Cash me outside. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then, yeah, you're only going to, for all the, like, he probably gets 1 million applicants or whatever, and then you're only going to televise the ones that will get views,
Yeah.
right? So,
Exactly. The Jersey Shores of the
exactly.
Of the world. Yeah.
The Jersey Shores of the world. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Well, it's, yeah. And before, actually, but one thing you said there, like, I think it's important, though, to at least listen to people you disagree with, right? Like, you should challenge your own opinions. You should try to be open to information. And, like, I think, like, for Joe Rogan, because I actually listened to most of the Bernie Sanders episode as well as the Killer Mike episodes,
Yeah.
where seeing their stuff publicly, I quite disagree with a lot of what they said. But then as I listened to it, I'm like, oh, this is a real person with opinions. It changed my opinions on a few things listening to them. And then I'm like, or at the very least, I see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Empathy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what empathy is.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. You need it.
Yeah. And I don't know. And then you might get new information, go research some other thing and be like, oh, okay, I get, maybe I agree with this part of it, but I think he could do it this way, yada, yada,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But anyways.
But I mean, that's how you form opinions, is
Mhm. Yeah.
by listening to multiple sides of a conversation and
Yeah.
then formulating your own.
Yeah. And then
viewpoint.
also not being married to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like
Yeah.
with the Black Lives Matter movement, I didn't know how bad it was.
Mhm.
Like I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Mhm.
And I have friends of like from everywhere. I have black friends, Asian friends, and I had no idea, like even just the subtle things, right? And so I didn't
Yeah.
say anything. I didn't jump into the
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter movement saying like fuck this is all
Mhm.
crazy, or like fuck white people or whatever.
Yeah.
I just sat back and was like, let me just learn
Mhm.
and see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's me too. Like anything like that, I'm not going to clout chase on Instagram. I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to go actually read about this and
Yeah.
form and challenge my own opinions in my own time.
Definitely.
Like
yeah,
I'm going to,
and reach out to actual people.
Yeah, yeah.
Be like, hey, like is it like what's going on in your world?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
my buddy who's black, I asked him like, hey, what's your views here? Like what's going on, right? And he's
Yeah.
told me some stuff that happened to him
yeah.
multiple times. I'm like, really?
Hmm.
Like I never knew that. You know what I mean? And then it
Yeah.
varies. Like down in the States, it's fucking insane
Yeah.
compared to here.
Yeah.
Which is, there's good and bad, and
Mhm.
it's all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same as talking to a soldier. You have
Yeah.
no idea unless you're
True.
in
True.
it, right?
Good point.
Definitely.
Good point.
And I see like a lot of people that are like insanely outraged, and they're white as fuck.
Mhm.
And it's like, look at me, remember me. A lot of people, because I know them personally, are posting about Black Lives Matter movement, which is great because we need to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, now you're doing it in a disingenuous way. You're like, hey, look at me, I'm
Look how
virtually
good a
Yeah.
person I am.
Yeah,
versus
exactly. Yeah.
That's
I
what-
actually care about
And
this,
then-
right?
Blasting people who aren't outraged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bastardization of a movement. To do
Yeah.
that, frankly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Frankly,
yeah.
I think that like
That's a
if,
good point.
if you care about it, donate money to it, or
Yeah.
do something like that. But if you're gonna, make 100 posts about how much you care about black people, like,
Yeah. Well,
you probably don't.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Care about yourself.
Yeah.
There's a page that said they will donate for every like and comment.
Mhm.
They'll donate $1
Mm,
Mhm.
for Black Lives Matter.
sure.
And so that went like viral, and they got like 500,000 followers, and people are like, yo, I even commented on, I never comment on shit like this, but I'm like, you guys are fucking disgusting. Like this
there is kind of the profiteering side of it too, right?
Yeah, like they're creating and generating followers, and people are sharing it and tagging people in it, because you have to tag people, tag, like, share, comment.
One of those things.
Yeah, and then all they're doing is they're building a platform,
Yeah.
and then they're going to sell it to someone.
Sure.
Because they have all these followers.
Yeah.
Or
start selling shit on there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, yeah.
And they switch the name, whatever, because the same followers stay, right? That same page did for the Amazon, or for the
forest fires.
The forest fires in Australia. Yeah, that same page. So when I caught on, then that's when I was like, yeah, fuck you guys, man.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people I knew said the same, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
People are profiting off it in disingenuous ways.
I listened to if you listen to lots of Joe Rogan, James Lindsay the other day. Did you listen to that guy?
Yep.
Because he was talking about BLM specifically, but this is almost any movement where there's like, okay, there's the actual like sentiment, the actual sentence. Then there's like kind of the official organization. Then there's like the like corporate side of it, right? And like so on. And he was kind of talking about, he's like, there's kind of like 5 movements of it, and like which ones are like really good and which ones are kind of just exploiting, right?
Yeah,
and
what's genuine and what's a company trying to sell you
being
something.
like, oh yeah,
you know?
So like, again, something that like I care about this cause very much, but like Pride Month, right? Like I think a lot of corporations, I just see through it. I'm like, no, you're just making a buck.
You're putting a rainbow on this product
for this month, and then next month you're on to the next thing. You don't really care, right?
Yeah,
so.
and a very convenient spike of sales happens during that month.
Yeah.
You can see right through it a lot of times, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird world.
Yeah,
but
yeah, profit will always be chased.
Yeah, which, I mean, one could argue that's what economies are to a degree. Like, is it, because even like social media, it's like, oh, you're just posting that for attention. Well, isn't that kind of the base principle of these platforms, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of whittle that down to absolutely everything is that, and kind of discredit it. But that's also there's better ways to do it though, right? Like exactly.
Like I'll definitely knock a guy or girl who's profiting off of Black Lives Matter or Pride or whatever the cause may be in like an insincere way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's different ways to do it.
I think you can tell who's genuine and who's not too.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think more
especially
and more
if you
people,
know the person.
Yeah, more and more people are coming to it too.
Yeah.
So it's that authenticity that really matters. So
and you got to be careful now, though, too, because if you call someone out or blast it, these people that are trying to profit off these movements in a disingenuous way, you could get blasted yourself. Like, well, fuck you, you're racist. Like, no, I'm calling out this person who is profiting off of Black Lives Matter or whatever.
Yeah.
In a shitty way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, no, fuck you, you're racist. Okay, well, whatever.
Right.
I love that word because it's this like almost this fear-inducing thing. So it's like you're something that you're not, but I'm going to call you it.
Yeah.
So.
And then you really want to prove you're not because it's a pretty terrible thing to be.
Yeah.
So you'll want to prove it, but then like almost by trying to prove it, you'll like appear guilty. Like it's a no-win situation.
It's an Orwellian tactic, is what it is. To be frank.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. They I got a buddy, same guy, my black friend. He was talking about how he doesn't want to be participation ribboned. You know what I mean? He's like, someone just featured me on their page just because I'm black. He's like, what the fuck? What is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he's like, I get it in some point. Like you want to like show that you're part of the movement and you care about it, but at the same time, like actual equality, like actual real equality, is hiring the best person for the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, where is that line?
Yeah.
Like, how do I know that that person didn't get the job just because they're black or Asian or gay or whatever?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a strange time.
Absolutely.
Like, I just like it's tough to chime in.
It really is, and like as 3 white dudes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. But because some of that stuff I see, and I say, again, I'm not a black person. I don't know how it feels. I'm not part of it, like you said.
Yeah.
But sometimes I see shit. I'm like, this would, if I saw this, I would feel very patronized, right? Like,
Yeah.
like you're almost like belittling them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be anything, whether, like you said, like Asian, gay, female, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
sometimes it errs on the side of patronizing or belittling it, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But again, if you like, I also don't like the idea of any movement being insulating itself from any kind of criticism, because like what? So if I am say, hey, what about this aspect? You're like, oh, you must automatically oppose us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why is
That's
it
a
an
good
absolute?
point.
Deleted.
That's a
Yeah,
good
exactly,
fucking
right?
point.
So-
Yeah.
Which is also like, that's not like, especially like in the academia world, like for something to be, first of all, people misuse the word theory. Like most people have a hypothesis. You don't have a theory, right?
Yeah.
Like a thing can only be a theory if it's been like rigorously tested,
Yeah.
and then therefore it must be true. So it's a theory,
Yeah.
right? And now we're in kind of this world where if you have an idea, but your idea is free of criticism, it's by definition, it cannot be true unless it's been thoroughly criticized and
Yeah.
proven is true.
That's
You
an
know what I'm saying?
opinion.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Well, it's the scientific method. Right?
Exactly, right? It's the
Yeah.
scientific method,
Yeah.
and it's, why we're getting to a point where a lot of things are presented and then insulated from any kind of criticism,
Yeah.
but expected to be accepted as truth,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And it's,
And
Yeah.
you should be able to see the criticism as well.
Mhm.
Like people's
Yeah.
comments getting deleted and stuff.
yeah,
You should be able to see the good and the bad and the ugly. You should be able
Yeah.
to see all of it, because
Yeah.
it all needs to be factored in.
mm-hmm.
And now we're getting shielded, but it's like, who's shielding us? Like, why?
Yeah, what
What's
are
the
we-
agenda? Like, why do I need to be shielded from that?
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, where are you trying to point us?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's so
You need to be
agitating.
told what to think.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly it.
Yeah.
It's so agitating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are like, they see through it.
Yeah.
I think a
I
lot of
think
people
so.
see
I
through
think
it.
so.
Yeah.
So,
But
when-
it's those people. Sorry to interrupt, but it's
yeah.
those people. We only see the crazies. The
We only
crazies
see
are the
extremes.
loudest
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the extremes,
Yeah.
and
You
that's
see,
that's
you
what
see
we're
the
actually
squeaky
seeing.
wheels, you know?
Yeah.
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 The people that are of reason aren't really chiming in too much on these things too much, because if you do, you're gonna get blasted.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have enough time
No,
to try
of course not.
talk reason into someone that's not. I'm not gonna kick
No.
a dead horse or talk to a wall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
build something.
That's why you're reasonable. though.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
And
that's my thing too, is I believe, despite what the internet tells you, most people are relatively good, the vast majority, right?
Yeah.
And most people are within,
100%.
like if we remember our stats class, 68% of people are within one standard deviation and 80 somewhat are within two standard deviations. Like most people are pretty normal, pretty good,
Yeah.
maybe lean a little one way or the other, but we're all not that different. And then the polarizing ones get the views and the clicks, right?
Yeah.
So
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets that's 100%. And then it looks to be like that's the way it is. Like if if there's a news clip heading that says like Minnesota, there was a riot and someone stomped someone to death.
Mhm.
And someone in my head, because I'm human, I'll be like, "Fuck, Minnesota's crazy. It's a crazy place."
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where it's
exactly.
like 99% of Minnesota is totally chill and awesome,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the 1% screws shit up, and now all of Minnesota looks bad.
Yeah,
or all of
exactly.
New York, or all of Alberta, or
Sure.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
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 it's pretty fucking crazy, man.
It's I don't know. I think people, not to be like wake up people, but I think the real fight, if you will, in our times is not left versus right, male versus female, black
No.
versus white.
No.
It's normal people versus kind of the establishment, which is wealthy elites, truly,
Yeah.
right? So call me a conspiracy theorist all you want, but that's kind of what it is in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I come at that with the point of positivity of we're all human and we're all not that different, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why the 1% is there's only 1% of them.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Most
exactly.
people are kind of the same, not the same, but like you said, within a couple deviations of each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why it's left and right. There's no like center. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I think we've beaten that horse to
Mhm.
death and then
Mhm.
dug it
Yeah.
up and beaten it
Beaten
again.
it
on
again
this-
for good measure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
On this show, but
Cremated and then
Yeah.
beat the ashes.
Yeah.
For,
But why,
just to
why
be sure.
like identity politics too? That's another thing that
Mhm.
drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like why just because I think let's say there's 10 things on the left and 10 things on the right.
hmm
If there's a couple things I think of the left that automatically makes me only left, therefore I should hate the 10 things on the right.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
if I were like I don't even want to say because it's identity politics, but
Yeah.
if I were to I'm center a little bit right.
Mhm.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
But I think of a lot of things on the far left are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things on the right are awesome.
hmm Yeah.
But why can't we all get along, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what
100%.
that's
Like,
the message, right?
Yeah, it's
So
like, let's listen to reason. And,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just because a doctor
Mhm.
that's been studying their whole life a theory, an actual real one,
Mhm.
that's on the left-hand side of the spectrum, and they believe something to be true. Someone on the right is like, well, their left is pushing left agenda. It's like, no,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
actual science. Well, what's
Yeah.
the science backed by? Who's paying for that?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a fine line between like you should have some critical thinking skills, but it's like it's as intellectually lazy to doubt everything as it is to believe everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're do you want more water? We're having a
Yeah,
good
sure.
combo. Let's keep it going.
Yeah,
You
I
guys
like it.
talk.
Yeah. No, we've talked about this a lot on this show because
Yeah.
both him and I are probably like, if we had to put ourselves in boxes, which we don't, but probably like more the libertarian viewpoint of
Yeah.
individual rights and stuff. And I think most people do agree with freedoms and stuff.
Yeah,
And-
for sure. Thanks.
And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting just to see how polarized things have gotten.
Yeah.
So, especially
Yeah.
over a time where you would think people would be coming together.
Yeah. And that's the scary part
Yeah.
is when we're not together.
Mhm.
When everyone's not in unison and there's no camaraderie,
Yeah.
it gets scary, right? People they kind of congregate in their own little
Mhm.
militias.
Echo
Yeah.
chambers, militias, yeah.
There's a lot of refs out there right now.
Yeah.
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 Well,
go ahead. Sorry.
For me, I feel like looking at, the zeitgeist of the times, during the whole lockdown and stuff, we were very, everyone was very human identity, global identity, come
Sure.
together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then as soon as the world was, remotely back to normal, the powers that be seemed to be like, oh, shit, let's fuck this all up again.
Yeah.
And kind of threw some wrenches into the mix, right? Like, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And at the same time it'd be shitty to be someone in power cuz how the fuck do you deal with this?
Yeah.
You have to deal with
Exactly.
the economy and then safety of people, and then
Yeah.
you have you can't make everyone happy, but you also have to do the right thing, and,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it's a tough one.
And it's hard, if you're a politician and let's say something maybe a controversial thing, let's say wearing a mask, and you as a politician are like, you know what, it's very important to wear a mask and I need to get this out to my constituents.
Yep.
But as sincere as you may try to come across, people are going to be like, you're a left-wing shill,
Yeah,
right?
you're a fucking sheep. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, who's paying your bills? Blah.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So everyone will just a bunch of people will just vehemently doubt you as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's
It's
I don't know, it'd
almost
be a hard
like
time.
it's almost like you have to just put the facts out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course your facts are going to get questioned because it's like, where is these facts coming from? But
Yeah.
it's like, hey, here's some stats. If you wear a mask, it's going to decrease your chance of getting it by X amount, or it's
Mhm.
going to decrease your chance of giving it by X
Mhm.
amount. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Go forth and do your thing.
Do what
Yeah.
you want.
If you have type 2 or type 1 diabetes and you're overweight and you have asthma and you get it, you're fucking dead. Or here's the stats of you're going to
Mhm.
die.
Absolutely.
So you know what I mean? Take
Yeah.
it or leave it.
But-
But it's like, if you do that,
I did a search the other day. I was like, are there any news outlets that are just stating facts and not putting any, spinning any viewpoints?
podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's like, I want the numbers.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
care about, I'm going to die today. You
Yeah.
know?
You
No,
would-
that we've said that enough, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, the average age of people that die in Alberta is actually a year older than the average age of people of the lifespan of the average person in Alberta right now.
Yeah.
It's 83 when people is the average age of people that die from COVID. The average age of people that they live, or the average age people live to, is 82.
Yeah.
So why is that stat not out there?
Yeah.
You know? And then it becomes young people are dying. Like, I think it's if you're under the age of 65, the death rate is between 0.6% and 2.5%.
Yeah.
Why isn't that number out there more?
Yeah.
You know? And why are people aren't using logic because people can't listen to it. They have to listen to that emotional viewpoint. And then it's like, then you kind of wonder, what else are they telling us, and why are they telling us it this way as opposed to giving us, just facts, right?
Like, why is their delivery worded that way? Why can't it just be like, here's the numbers later?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
We almost need like a news.com, which is like a plain white page with like plain black font, no ads, and it's not like the most boring thing in the world, but it just says like, here is this thing and here are the numbers. And you do what you want with that information kind of thing,
And ran by people, like not for profit, ran by people who are only objectively thinking, or the even better yet, the numbers are inputted into a machine and the machine spits out percentages. Like if you get it, you have a
interesting.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it, like, people are with COVID are saying like, well, what about other people? It's selfish if you go out. Well, don't interact with people that are gonna get hurt by it. Like my Nono and Nona, which Italian for grandparents, are almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
They're in their they're not. They're almost in their 90s. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna go hang out with them and kiss them on the cheek.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not selfish, or I don't want them to be hurt.
Yeah.
Quarantine them.
Yeah.
You know what
exactly.
I mean? And people who have diabetes or asthma or respiratory problems, quarantine them. Or they have the right to like go out, and if you get it, like, fuck, that sucks, man, but you got it because you were out.
Know the risk.
Know the risk.
Yeah, and if you have kind of that predicament or pre-existing condition that prevents it, like, you got to know, like, and even going back to even the seniors thing, because now that they've sort of opened up stuff, like, there comes a point, if you're like 80, 90, 100, whatever, and you're in the last chapter of your life, like, and you want to see your grandkids or your family, like, you should have the right to kind of say, I know the risk, I'll live with this, right? So, but then there comes in like issues within homes and stuff, but
but frankly, those people are immunely suppressed. Like if they get the flu or if they get a cold, it's going to be a tough time for them.
If you fall off a chair, like,
that's a good point too.
If you break a bone at that age, you might be a goner. Like that is just how it happens.
Right? I personally know a doctor that he said if you're over the age of 80 and you break your hip, it's almost a death sentence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's like, and then it's like, who governs this? Like what? Like who's making this a moral issue?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why? Like
it's not it's a freedom issue. Though, right. It's like it's a personal liberty to decide. And people fucking die every single day. Yeah. So it's I make a risk by getting into my car and driving to this office to do this podcast.
Yeah, at 100 kilometers an hour, by the way.
150.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm just so stoked to see
in a school zone, but liberty, right?
But that's what it's about. It's not about. It's like morality, but it's almost like the spin is that. It's to pull at your heartstrings so that you make a decision because of a certain morality as opposed to a personal freedom. Yeah. You know?
And people posting about it. Yeah. Like, I saw a post the other day. I'm like, fuck, I want to say something, but I'm not going to. And it was like, I had an opportunity to go see my grandparents, but I didn't. Thank you for your diary.
Yeah.
Like,
thanks for sharing that.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
you should have just commented like a link to like a Staples like .com/ journal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just write it in here.
Yeah. You want some brownie points for doing
Here's some hero biscuits.
Right thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what is getting shared and stuff right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just question a lot of things now.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't know. I'm to a point I kind of doubt. And here's my thing too, is one thing I thought to myself the other day was, if you asked, and this kind of goes back to my point I made a little while ago, but if you ask let's use Canadian terms, if you ask a liberal person, who is the establishment, they would say, oh, conservatives. And if you ask a conservative who is the establishment, they would say, oh, liberals.
Yeah.
So we kind of agree on something, that it's someone else. It's something beyond and bigger than us that we as the individuals and young people as well don't really control, right?
Yeah.
So
well, it's statism. Like if the bigger a government gets, like what's the incentive for them to get any smaller or have less influence, right?
Yeah. And once they get power, they're not going to give it back.
No.
Yeah.
Or it's less likely to.
Yeah.
Like all these different rules, like it's like, fuck, are you going to let us have it back?
Yeah.
Like we have to just pray that you're going to let us have it back, or and even in the States too, right?
Yeah.
It's scary, man.
It's a strange thing. I don't know. And then like, will one day will they be like, oh, here's the vaccine, let's roll it out, and then it'll be like, well, that's over, like that's done, like close this chapter and the world just resumes? Like what? I don't know.
There's no way. It's gonna be bad.
People will be in,
and or it's like, what's in the vaccine? Why are you pushing this vaccine?
Exactly.
Right? Who's this coming from? It's coming from
and
Bill
then
Gates?
It's like,
where's also,
Bill Gates. Yeah. Bill Gates wants to put a chip in me.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
exactly. Like what is this?
Yeah.
Anti-vaxxers. So, and then if you're like, hey, there's like a small percentage of people aren't getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
The people that aren't getting vaccinated, can they spread it amongst themselves? And again, is it going to morph?
Yeah.
Is it going to turn into something else?
Yeah, right.
Is this going to be a seasonal flu thing that we have to take? Like, what's going to happen?
Right. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. And at this point, it's just pure speculation.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
We can talk it to death. That's
we really
the thing.
can.
And people will.
Yeah.
But
I think the thing too is people will like talk it to death, but like argue vehemently in one position and be so rooted in it, and then the next day it'll be like, oh well, this new data suggests that's totally wrong, and then
and then they'll pick
then
it
it was
apart
pointless,
somewhere else.
right? Yeah, it was. I don't know.
They'll also like, okay, it's like something they were so married to, an opinion they were so married to.
Yeah.
They'll be proven wrong.
Yeah.
And then they'll attack how it was proven wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up a quote here, but yeah.
And I feel for, I'm kind of going back and forth here, but the people that like being a business owner and entrepreneur and coming from the literal gutter to where I am now, there's people that are saving up and their biggest goal in life is to, let's say, open a gym or open a restaurant or something like that. And they're going bankrupt and it's getting shut down from something that's no fault of their own and this thing is, 0.2% death rate or whatever it is today.
Yeah. But you can go riot.
Yeah.
You
can go protest.
You can gather in groups of 200,000. You can protest.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. Fucking agitated, man.
It's a little,
It's all about fear.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I looked up a quote from Master Yoda, and the quote is, fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Yeah.
I looked that up
So
the other
true.
day, but that's seriously what is going on.
And
Yeah,
even,
it's
you know what?
absolutely.
Going back to something I said, and this even applies to the like right or left 1-0 binary dichotomy. Is that the right word?
Yep.
It's in Star Wars they say only the Sith deal in absolutes. So it's evil to be an absolutist or like you must be this or you must hate this or whatever, right? So
do you guys know Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
He's back.
Yes,
I'm super fucking glad that I listened to that Michaela's
with
podcast.
it. I listened to that yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
I got about 15 minutes into it, but I haven't finished it yet. So.
We need him right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah.
We're getting
I'm
better
glad.
anyways.
Yeah.
We need the philosophers.
She added me. His daughter added me on Instagram.
Really?
Oh,
I was
sick.
like, oh shit! Like I got all fanboy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That would be wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
We need the philosophers. We need the thinkers.
Absolutely.
And the ones that can that don't have fuzz words like I do, like and then you just get blasted, right?
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson can just talk fluently, intelligently for hours.
Yeah.
And just someone can try to pick him apart. And if he's wrong, he admits it as well.
Yep.
He'd be like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm going to go back to the drawing board and think about it.
Yeah.
Or if someone is challenging him and they're not understanding what he's saying, he'll give you credit as well. Be like, listen, this is complex. I understand it's complex, and it took me 13 years to get to this hypothesis or this theory.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you for this being confusing. You know what I mean? You're not stupid. You just don't understand now. Like, we need guys like that. And like Ben Shapiro as well. Like, he's super right, as far right as it gets, in my opinion. But he does a good job at that as well.
Yeah. They at least articulate well.
Articulate well, that's right.
Are well researched, right? Because a lot of times you listen to like talking heads on things, and it's like
Alex Jones.
Yeah. Oh God.
I love Alex.
But like in the informational age, you almost need an Alex Jones to like field the fucking crazy theories out there for perspective. And here's the thing. Alex Jones is a legitimate journalist. He's actually broken legitimate stories in his career. It's like maybe 0.5% of the time, but he's done it, right?
He's done
so like you almost need the fringe guys out there to at least make you think
and
about
let
things.
them have a voice.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's freedom of speech.
Ban these fuckers from YouTube. Like, I think that's retarded.
Yeah.
Like, but don't use that word, but it's, you know, like, it's just like, it's just not the way that you have a good conversation. Right? It's I don't know.
You shouldn't be able to just if it's not invoking hurting people, then it's fair game. It's freedom of speech. It's like people, like we talked about the early I think before we even hit record, people were storming the beaches of Normandy. They did that so we could talk about shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Freely and openly, right?
Yeah. I saw a really interesting video that I think got reshared on Instagram or something. And it was this one guy who was he was more in like the 90s. He's a Jewish man, talked a lot about Holocaust related stuff.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he was actually in an interview defending there was like a Holocaust denier there, and like they were trying to shut him down, and he's like, no, like this, even though I don't agree with this opinion, he has the same right to freedom of speech as I do. Like, it's an absolute.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
it was
powerful.
very and it was very thought provoking. And then from a persuasion perspective too, if you allow that person to have a voice, it shows your confidence in your own message too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. You're not shutting someone up that's challenging you, because if you are correct, you can take on any challenge, correct. No problem.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, I mean, if your idea can stand on its own legs, right?
Yeah.
But that's what's needed is to people to challenge it and continually challenge it. So and I think that maybe it's coming to the point where some of these ideas can't stand on their own legs, and maybe that's why there's people that are being silenced about it. Maybe maybe that's why.
We see that in construction, in the final walkthrough.
Okay.
Like if I were to put a tangible spin on it.
Yeah.
The final walkthrough or deficiency list or whatever, you should be able to just sit in your truck or your car and let the homeowners, if you're doing residential, just walk through and pick out anything.
Yeah.
Just go pick it out.
Yeah.
But if you have to stand with them and like kind of block a door or a miter or something
Put
like
your
that.
foot over a nick in the floor. Yeah.
If you have absolute confidence in your people and your craftsmanship, go ahead, go hard. Here's a magnifying glass. Go to town.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's kind of what's happening with speech and ideas. And these people get a platform because they have an idea, and then someone attacks it, and it's like, holy shit, they're discrediting it, but I think they're right, so I'm going to blast them back.
Yeah.
It's not people's egos are in the way, and there's not a lot of empathy going on. It's not like a real open conversation. And we're only human. Like confrontation is uncomfortable for a lot of people. If it's not uncomfortable to you, you're probably crazy. You know what I mean? Or a sociopath. There's something going on there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So people are getting blasted, and they're not able to handle it correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I try to do my best to talk about what I know. Like on my Instagram, for example, I talk about business in construction only, because that's all I know.
Yeah.
And I talk about addiction, about alcohol and cocaine only, because that's all I know. And getting out of homelessness, and things that I know inside and out.
Yeah.
I just talk about that, and I'll leave the comment section open. If you have a problem with it, let's talk about it.
That's another fucking thing though, is closed comment sections.
Yeah, or
that
limited,
one's,
right?
That one's
Yeah.
very interesting
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's like I understand. It depends what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I understand if you're talking about something that is going to, if it's going to ruin your day. There's a couple times where I put on my story, I don't, like, I'll share something, or I'll write an opinion that I have, and I don't want to hear about it because it'll ruin my day. I've learned. I used to do that. I did it twice in my life. Now I won't do it. If I can't handle it, like if it's gonna ruin my day because someone's gonna talk shit about it, I just won't talk about it. You know what I mean? Unless it like absolutely needs to be said, I feel.
Oh, okay.
Which is rare.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't handle criticism and controversy. They just can't handle it very well. So a real discussion isn't happening.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that are supposed to be specialists in like Dave Bautista, for example, he's WWE and an actor, but he's talking about different movements or talking about Donald Trump or whatever. Like, you don't know shit about, or you don't know fuck about shit. You know that meme from Ozark?
Yeah.
Or shit about fuck. You
That's
don't know,
what it is.
yeah, you don't know shit about fuck. I love it.
Yeah.
So if you have confidence in your opinion, you should have your comments open, because you may be wrong.
Yeah.
And if you're wrong, you should welcome someone correcting you.
Yeah.
And right now, there's people who are correcting you aren't very smart a lot of times, or they're not delivering it well, because we're all sensitive, and fuck, I could just go on, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
That's not what the internet wasn't supposed to be. These platforms where there's a huge amount of moderation and stuff getting taken down. Like the internet was supposed to be this freedom of thought and
information flow.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we've kind of lost that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And the virtue signaling is just as bad as people blasting someone. Like, it's fake. A lot of times it's fake, and it's trying to portray something that it isn't. Like, it's not actually like that.
It's look at how good of a person I am.
Yeah, look at me.
Yeah.
Like, because that stand-up comedian Anthony Jeselnik or
Jeselnik, yep.
Yeah. It's like, thoughts and prayers go out to Las Vegas. Like, what? Like, a lot of people are in a like when the shooting happened.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in competition to break news first.
Yeah.
That's what happened with COVID too.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, like, people were like, "Oh, did you guys hear about?" Or they'll share a story about breaking news somewhere else. It's like in a race to break news, but really what it is, it's like, look at me, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
thoughts and prayers go out to Hurricane.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Social media has like, there's a lot of good that can come from it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but there's also that dark side, and
The like click, I have now solved racism, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
the instant gratification.
Yeah, 100%. And I know we're talking about the kind of the not so good about social media,
Yeah.
but on mine, for example, there's lots of people that reach out to me via like DM, or if they have my number or whatever, like, hey, I need to read that post, or I need to see that. My buddy's going through this, my sister's going through that, or whatever. Like that. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
And I'm also sticking to my game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm staying in my lane. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking
exactly.
about like you know, like anything medical.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
That's a fair
neuroscience. I don't know shit. I don't know fuck about shit on that. Or shit about fuck. See, I can't even say my sayings right. My means are incorrect.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Have you had any out of sheer curiosity, any doctors or anything reach out to you about, addiction stuff when you post it, or kind of whether it be in a positive or a negative way?
Doctors? No,
Yeah.
not like
Doctors aren't really on social.
Yeah,
unless
they're
they're
just
Dr. Oz or whatever.
yeah,
right?
exactly,
So,
like the fake doctors.
yeah.
I've had a few like addiction, like people who run CA or AA
okay.
reach out to me.
What's CA?
Cocaine Anonymous.
Oh, okay.
Or
okay.
NA as well,
Right,
too.
right,
But
right,
Cocaine
right.
Anonymous, it is a thing. Like,
Oh,
it's,
okay,
it's
okay.
just cocaine. But they use a 12-step program, so they talk about other things as well. It's kind of
Right.
a blanket thing.
Yeah.
But if you get into a room of CA, you kind of all have the same. You're on the same
Kind of
page. 'Cause,
same,
like,
not story, but
you have the same triggers, more or
Yeah,
less,
yeah.
or you want the same thing.
Sure.
Like you want that like oh, like
Yeah,
cocaine.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Whereas like a downers group is different. Like
Yeah.
I have nothing in common, or I have little things in common with people who are addicted to heroin. It's
Yeah.
a different type of. It's a different person. Looking for a different thing.
Yeah.
They're looking for
Okay.
like this. It's a different high. It's a different. Like you could if you had a group of like 50 people, I could probably pick out the people who do coke, and I could probably pick out the people who do heroin, or like Oxycontin or something like that.
Gotcha.
They're just different.
Right.
They're different from
Okay.
each other.
It,
So
do all the program are the 12 steps more or less the same, but just kind of interchange what the drug is, or
Yeah,
do they change a little bit?
the 12 steps are for like substance abuse. It's like
Okay,
addiction as a
gotcha,
blanket.
gotcha, sure.
So if you're addicted to alcohol, or if you're addicted to this position, if you whatever, like the first step is you have come to terms that you are not able to control. It's more, whatever it is more powerful than you and your willpower.
Yeah.
Like that's step one.
Right.
So that could be alcohol. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some people that are like they go through a course, right, to become a counselor, or
Yeah.
to run an AA or a CA meeting, and people who go through any type of formal education besides engineering and whatever,
Yeah.
they are like, hey, that's how I learned it, so that's the way it is. But they don't. A lot of times they don't take different points of view, and I'm definitely in the realm of different points of view. So
Actually,
they'll challenge
sorry.
me a few times. Like I've been challenged
Okay,
a few
gotcha.
times. But the good thing about people that have gone through the program, or the program being the 12-step program, or people who are around people who have addictions, empathy is dialed up. It's like there's a lot of empathy in those groups. So they'll actually reason. Like they'll listen and be like for example, people talk about relapsing. They're like, okay, it's okay, you relapse is part of it. I'm like, it's not okay. It's not like it happens. I get it, but it's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay that you did that. Like it's not. You're not gonna get a fucking hug from me because you relapsed. You know what I mean? Whereas everybody else, or most people that are in the program, are like, it's okay, brother. It's okay, sister.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, let's figure out what we can do next. I'm like, it's not okay. You fucked up. What are you gonna do to not do that again? And I better like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there needs to be a little bit more of tough love in the program. That's kind of where I've come in.
Gotcha.
So that's where I get challenged, is more of, I don't shame people, but I'm definitely hard on people and myself.
Yeah.
Long and hard.
Hey.
I had to.
We got it. An hour 45. Actually, so one thing that just crossed my mind: who runs like a 12-step program? Is it like do you take a weekend course? Is it is it like someone with a psychology background, or does it?
It varies. Depends on the group.
Okay.
Like if you go to like a retreat or like rehab, typically they have like a degree or some kind of course that you can take in university or college. But if you're at like in like a church basement and there's a 12-step program, typically it's someone who successfully has done it and has a lot of years of sobriety.
Okay.
Right.
Like most of the people that I know and the places that I've checked out, they have like 10 years sober.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Someone that can talk about the drug and not like get goosebumps.
Right.
You know what I mean by that?
No,
like
I totally
they can say
understand.
cocaine and not be like,
Yeah. Start to.
Yeah.
Still
like,
get
kinda
the
want that.
feeling kind of thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah. So, can I ask, and if this is a loaded question, but is it something you kind of carry with you? Like, is there always kind of that baseline there? And you specifically, but generally for people who have had addictions, like, is it always kind of in the back of your head, even if you're 10 years sober or whatever? Is there a chance it could be there? Like what?
Spectrum. It's a spectrum answer for sure. Because for me, I honestly believe that, like, when I'm driving around, let's say, it's not like, I shouldn't do coke today.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Right.
not like
Yeah.
that,
That's
right?
yeah.
Maybe at the beginning stage, you take it hour by hour, day by day, and there's truth to that. Like, you need to get to the next day because the first 3 days are fucking terrible.
Right.
And then the first 5 days, you get 10 days and it's a little bit easier, and then whatever, right?
Sure.
A lot of people say, and this is where I get challenged again, is you're always an addict. I don't believe that.
Right.
I got fucking paint all over my hand, but this year is 2.0. I got that tattooed on me because I'm now version 2.0.
Yeah. I like that.
And that's how I think, because I can break up with and murder my old self because I'm hard on my old self, and that guy's dead. I can draw from lessons from it, just like you can draw lessons from history, but he's dead.
Yeah.
A lot of other people in these programs they're too, in my opinion, too close to it still. Like they carry it around and they think about it like, I don't want to drive this way because of a trigger, and I understand that example. I drive down 91st Street in Ellerslie, I still get a little bit like kind of like, fuck, I can't believe I used to live in that bush, or I used to go to that ATM and pull money out, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand that, but me personally, I don't carry it. That guy's definitely dead.
Yeah.
But I do everything at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So when I decided to get sober and clean, I decided to really do it. Like, fucking kill that person, and whatever space in my mind whatever part of my mind that was occupied by addiction, I filled it with something else.
Right.
So the energy it takes to be an addict is astronomical. Like, you don't want to get out hustled by a crackhead, but you probably will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a crackhead has no resources.
Yeah.
Zero. They have no money, but they still get crack.
Yeah.
Somehow. You know what I mean? And what I have done is compartmentalize that part of my brain, and now I use that to focus on my business. So I just keep myself busy, but now it's so habitual that I don't kind of keep myself busy so I don't do something like coke. Yeah. That's just how I am now.
Yeah.
I just hustle like that.
Yeah. You're almost using that, like, let's say you have that capacity for, like, someone with perhaps an addictive personality or whatever. Like, you use that energy for something else. Right?
Yep. Exactly. In a way. And the word addiction is not, like, addiction is bad. Like you can be addicted to fucking water.
Yeah.
Right.
So what that means is you're drinking so much water all day that you're not going to work because you're so addicted to drinking water. It's screwing up your regular day.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not addicted to the hustle. Like, that's another quote that gets thrown around there. Like, addicted to the hustle. Like, fuck off. But like, I don't carry it around like it's a burden. Yeah. I definitely draw the lessons from it. Yeah. And I definitely know that, like, hey, Anthony, I'm really, let's say I'm really, really tired today, but I have to do this estimate later. It's like, but when you wanted to get coke, you would get it. Right. If it was 1 a.m., you would somehow figure it out. Yeah. And you would get it. So I'm like, if I could do that, I could do something that's going to make me hundreds of thousands of dollars, for example. So go do it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So I don't really, I don't carry it around, but it shows up once in a while. It shows up, and I was actually pleasantly surprised not too long ago. I don't want to get in too much detail because I don't want to oust anyone, but I was in a situation where cocaine was present, and I saw it. I saw a big pile of it. Let's say it was like 3 feet away from me. And I just looked at it like, oh, that's cocaine. Like, my brain was like, that's cocaine, just the same way as this is a bottle of water and your shirt is green. Yeah. It was nothing to me. And then after I'm on the way home, like, holy fuck. Like, I came a long way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, 5 years ago, I would be like, 6, maybe even 7 years ago now, I would manipulate everyone this is real. I would manipulate everyone in the room to convince them that that's mine now. I get all of it.
Yeah.
That's how fucking addicted I was to it. You know what I mean? Or I would just like take it and bounce and leave, right? I wouldn't share because I was like, like Gollum in the Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean? Like my precious, you know? But like now it's just like whatever to me. You know what I mean? And the last thing that I had to the last thing I had to kick was alcohol, because I would now I don't drink anything at all. I used to kind of have a couple beers here and there. But I had a psilocybin trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the last thing I needed to kick, in my opinion, was beer.
Yeah.
Fucking love beer. The taste of it. I'm into craft beer, all that kind of stuff, right? So, but it just like anything, I have an addictive personality. If I like it, I'll keep doing it. So one day I'll have like 3 beers or 1 beer, and the next day I'll have 3, and then 5 days from there I'm having like 12 or whatever. So I started to notice trends that was relating to my addiction to cocaine. And I'm like, I need to nip this in the ass. So I did the cold turkey thing like I always do, but I kept craving it, and I was sick of not wanting to do it, like having to consciously tell myself, don't go to the liquor store and get beer. You know what I mean? So I did a bunch of research on psilocybin guided meditations to kicking addiction, and I did it on my own. I probably did it incorrectly, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
Like now, beer is just like seeing that pile of cocaine. It's just like nothing to me.
Really?
It's like whatever.
So was it like one trip and you kind of resaw your life in the universe and didn't need it anymore,
Yeah,
kind of thing?
it was. Well, I'll get into it. So,
Please do.
yeah. So we got time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We're on
It's what time is it, by the way?
8:51. Almost.
Right.
Or 9. It's 9.
It's 9?
Yeah.
Oh wow, holy. Okay, I'll try to make it as quick as I can because I got to pick up my son soon.
Yeah.
But I was drunk, and I was sick of. I didn't want to alter my mind that way and like go that way of needing to alter my mind.
Yeah.
So, which is hilarious because I did something that altered your mind like by a fucking lot.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, I'm gonna kick this. So I took a bunch of mushrooms, psilocybin, and I tripped out. Things were melting. You know what I mean? You're feeling all that kind of stuff. And I put on a YouTube channel where it was like a guided meditation about kicking addiction, and I put my AirPods in, and I actually ended up running 26 kilometers. Like,
What?
I run
Isn't
every
that a
day.
marathon?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I run every day.
Yeah.
But I only run like 6K,
Yeah.
5K,
Yeah.
like, and I don't like sprint it. Like I was fucking running, and it was like 5 a.m. too. Like it was nuts, but I like felt myself, like I felt one with nature, and I felt like I could see myself from 35,000 feet.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't need anything.
Huh.
Like, why are you doing this? You're doing this because you want to. One of the reasons why I was drinking a couple beers is I would give myself permission to be successful. One of the things I struggled with when I got out of being homeless was like I wouldn't even sleep in a bed. I didn't think I deserved it. That's real. That's like real talk. I'd sleep on the floor because I didn't think I deserved a bed. And I actually went to a couch. I slept on a couch for a year because I didn't think I could have I had a bedroom, but I didn't have a bed because I didn't deserve it. It's this weird imposter syndrome that happens. Super common in people that were homeless. They'll sleep on the floor because first of all, it's comfortable for them because they're used to it. And yeah, you just don't feel like you deserve the success. So as I got better and better and better and more successful and everything was going good, to get to the next tier, I felt like I had to. I was lying to myself, like you can't get to the next level. I kind of plateaued. So if I had a couple beers, I could feel myself.
Right.
Like I would give myself permission to be successful.
Yeah.
And then I would also. I'm addicted to like manifestation and visualization.
Yeah.
So if you're like a little bit buzzed, you can actually feel it. Because what you actually have to do is, let's say you want a Ferrari, you have to close your eyes and think about the steering wheel, and you're gripping the Ferrari, and you're like, you're actually really believing and convincing yourself that you have it. So you have a couple beers in there, I could do that.
Yeah.
And then
easier.
I would just take it too far because that's the addictive personality in me. If 5 beers feel good, 10 beers should feel better.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I knew that I was going down the wrong way. So when I fast forward to my trip, when I was on 35,000 feet looking down, I'm like, this is why you're drinking. You don't need to do that. You can do it on your own. You just have to, what you're doing. There's no imposter here, Anthony. You're successful. Let's keep going. Go to the next stage. You deserve it. So after that, I haven't touched alcohol at all. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yep.
And I don't, it's just like this thing that used to be. I see alcohol all the time. And it's just like, if you had a beer and you had a beer, it would be like, hey, you have a beer and you have a beer. That's it. It's not like, don't drink that beer. Or like, don't ask. Right. Hopefully if they don't offer me a beer, because I have to say no. Will I say no? It's not a thing anymore, because I don't need it to give myself permission to be successful. That's why I was drinking, which in itself is, I got lucky, because if I was drinking to get drunk, that's another story. But I was drinking to think a certain way clearly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the way I look at it is that's a blessing. It's like I got lucky that's why I was drinking. So now it's like, you know what, man, just keep doing your plan and you get to the next tier.
There you go.
It's like common sense now.
Wow, interesting. That makes, I don't know. I totally understand what you're saying though, and where you're coming from.
And psilocybin it's all about intent.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing it to trip out and like watch like a movie and laugh your ass off, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If you're a little bit scared of, you're gonna see shit, you're probably gonna see some shit.
Right.
And you're gonna have a bad trip. But if you're doing it to mitigate PTSD, or you have some childhood trauma, or you want to kick an addiction, you may not get it right away, but you'll get one step closer to that.
Yeah.
That breakthrough.
It's a dissociative almost.
Yeah.
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 It's same with me and ketamine.
Yeah.
I didn't illegally do ketamine, but there's a story to it. But
Yeah.
100%. It's kind of like getting outside of yourself to see almost like the truth about your current existence or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can analyze the exterior. Like you can analyze, if you're 35,000 feet, you can analyze things pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Right? But how do you do that if you're stuck inside yourself? You can't.
You can't.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you can like metaphorically leave your body
Yeah.
and have a look in objectively, you can know what to work on.
Yeah.
And that's very powerful. And that's why there's massive clinical studies about psilocybin, ketamine, MDMA, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you hear MDMA, you're like, oh, let's go to fucking Scream.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You're going to a rave.
Pure.
You know what I
something
mean?
like that. Yeah.
When I used to think of ketamine, I used to think of this one guy in particular who was just fucking keyholed out all the time.
Yeah.
Like, but and I'm not endorsing drugs at all.
Yeah.
But it works for certain people that have certain conditions, right?
Yeah.
And a condition and a disease is addiction. So I just used it to fix the last thing I was, quote unquote addicted to, which is alcohol. And I had to, I just knew I was going down the wrong way. So I had to.
I have heard
Get rid
about
of
studies with regard to addiction and specifically, psilocybin.
Yeah.
So.
Especially microdosing, right?
Yes.
That's a big one.
Yeah, microdosing is a very interesting thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of I don't know. I think that'll be a next big trend in health and legalization kind of aspect. I think personally.
Yeah,
So.
big time. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it anymore. And it's I can nerd out about psilocybin all the time. Like it's one of the only living organisms that can grow in a vacuum. It doesn't need anything. That's why there's like the conspiracy, or just there's an
like a meta theory.
Yeah, like that it hitched a ride from another planet, right? Because it can survive in space. It's like
gotcha.
It's like, all right, because when you're on it, have you guys ever done it?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay, so try it. So what happened? It's hard to explain. You can't. It's really hard to explain, but it's I can't explain it properly.
Yeah.
I'll butcher
That's
it. But
fair.
if you're like, it goes back to intent. If you're gonna do it to like have a laugh, you take a little bit and you have a laugh. You'll laugh for fucking hours. It's the best time ever.
Sure.
Right? I won't take it for the only reason I would take psilocybin is to dial myself in. Like if I take it once a year,
Yeah.
if I do it again, I'm going to take it with a psychologist.
Sure.
So that I can do the power of the law of attraction and visualization and stuff like that, because I believe in that stuff full-heartedly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it for recreation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like ayahuasca.
Yeah, it's anything psychedelic,
Yeah.
right? DMT, toad, all that stuff. It's very, it's ancient. Ancient cultures do it to be one with God. It's not, they don't do it to party on a Saturday. You're not like ripping a rail of DMT. Like you're doing it to have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Pretty sure he was successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a DMT guy?
LSD.
Oh, really?
LSD, yeah.
Isn't LSD's a risky one, though, isn't it? Because of...
Depends on...
Can be. The batch or whatever.
Sure, everything's risky.
I guess so.
Yeah, it depends. It's just like any drug. Like, where'd you get it from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And how you react to it. Like, I don't... Like, cannabis is one of the most... It's like the safest drug in the fucking world. I do not react well with cannabis.
Nope.
And it's because of the drugs that I used to take, that in my opinion, the drugs that I used to take, anything that alters my brain in a way that is supposed to, besides a psychedelic, I get paranoid. I'm right back to my condo, holding my fucking baseball bat and drooling in my underwear. Like, it freaks me out. There's not, it just, I just won't do it. So, yeah, LSD doesn't sit well with, there's a fucking ton of people, right? But you have to do it correctly and with the right people and all that stuff.
Definitely.
Do it like a scientist.
I guess so.
That's right.
So,
Or with one.
Yeah.
That knows CPR.
yeah, exactly. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, that was a episode to say the least.
Trip.
Yeah, that was a trip right on.
Excellent. Well, I think we should call it a wrap at that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Anthony, thanks again so much. We always
no problem.
appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah,
Where can, for those who have listened this far, where can people find more of you?
Instagram. I don't have Facebook anymore.
Okay.
Good
just
for
Instagram.
you.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Yeah,
Too much fake
good for
news
you.
and shit.
Yeah.
People sharing their opinions too much. It's at Mr.Zorzetto for the Instagram feed.
Nice.
Excellent. Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.